Welcome into our Cubs Recap podcast here on my YouTube channel, available audio only anywhere you get your podcasts. I'm Davidkaplan. My special guest tonight is Mark Silverman, one half of the Great Waddle and Silvy show on ESPN 1000, diehard Cubs fan, and he and I spar from time to time. So I said, Silvy, come on, let's talk some Cubs now that the trade deadline has come and gone and they added Jeimer Candelario. So now that the deadline has come and gone, Cody Bellinger's had a monster night, 3 hits so far, a home run that knocked out lights on the scoreboard. What do you think?
Well, look, now we're in, right? I mean, this is fun. It's August. What day is today? August 1st. Today was the trade deadline, and we're watching important baseball at Wrigley Field. Like, I don't want it spun or anyone to believe that I don't want to win. I just want to win in the big picture, Cap. That's all I was saying here. And I like actually what they did today by saying Candelario is going to be playing first base. I thought that was a pretty smart move. You put Bellinger back in center field. Madrigal's got another couple of hits tonight. I think his on-base percentage is up to like 348 right now. As long as he's playing a capable third base, he's been playing good defense. You could always switch Candelario back to third base. So, okay, fine. And a lot of people have told me with the new rules, and you were talking about it today on your show with Hoodie, these guys were Rule 5 eligible, so they could have been plucked from your system. The new rules limit how many prospects you can keep in your system. So look, I just don't want to look back in a couple of years and say we gave up on somebody who turned out to be good. Just because, remember, not all guys are ranked as top prospects at this stage. I brought up today on the show, Contreras and Baez weren't considered big time prospects. They were Hendry guys, but then they eventually developed and they were important pieces on the 16 and beyond team. So, but look, I'm in it for this year and beyond. I just want Jed to build what was built previously with him and Theo.
So Jed was on tonight when you were wrapping up your show and then getting home. Jed was on with Boog and Jim DeShays, and he said, look, when we came to work on Sunday, he goes, I'll be honest with you, 2 weeks ago, we were selling. Absolutely. A week ago, I was unsure. But he said, when I said to my staff, when we get together on Sunday, we will make a decision. He goes, and when I walked in the office, I already knew what we were doing. We are not selling. He said, we have such a good room that I owed it to those guys to try and give them a chance to get to the postseason. Doesn't mean they're going to, but he felt like, you know what? We've done this for 2 years. It's time to see what these guys can do. And boy, oh boy, have they exploded tonight, because as you and I are taping, I think it's 13-3.
Yeah. And Swanson's come to life, and another home run for Bellinger. And you would love to see him locked up at the end of the season. It's going to cost a lot. But and you brought up a good point, Cap. Look, Jed can overcome an angry fan base. Jed can overcome angry media members. But I think it's really important what you said there, that you have a lot of guys in that clubhouse who you hope is going to be a part of what have they termed it? The next great Cub team.
No question.
Yeah, Dansby Swanson's going to be here for a while. Steele is going to be a part of your future Cubs team. Hopefully Ian Happ's, Nico Horner is going to be. Maybe Cody Bellinger is going to be. Maybe Seat can turn it around and finally live up to his potential. Other guys who can be a part of your team. So while I have been not for this, I think there is something to be said that you look those guys in the room and you said, you guys did your part. You guys battled back and it hasn't been consistent, but you made us believe in you, and we owed it to you guys to buy in and to give you guys a chance. And I think when Dansby signs on the dotted line and he leaves Atlanta and he comes to Chicago, I think it's a really good buy-in from the front office, and maybe it will help with others who come here. And if it's a tie, kind of like when John Lester was between Boston and it was between the Cubs and some others, you can now say, look, this is what we do for guys in the room. We're believers in this clubhouse, so hopefully this will help.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You look at this team, you look at its strengths, defensively outstanding. They do a great job grinding at bats, but they are not a great bullpen, and I don't think there's a lot of depth in the rotation. Marcus Stroman, now I know why Jed Hoyer did not want to extend him, because his analytics probably told him might be a bit of a regression coming. I don't know if he thought to this degree. So my question to you is, do you wait to see what happens with Ohtani before you extend Bellinger? Because if you're giving Ohtani 600, you're not giving that dude 200.
You wish you could do both. I mean, I'm greedy, you know, like how great would it be if you, I mean, yes. I mean, I'm being greedy. If you got Ohtani, I would be thrilled. And if you didn't come away with Bellinger, in any way, shape, or form, if you got Ohtani and you got, I mean, like we've never seen it, Cap. While like and others say, okay, maybe in the future there will be more players who hit and pitch, but ever say that there will be a pitcher that good and a hitter that good?
No, we had Brooks Kieschnick here.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't get that version of him. Like he didn't pitch when he was here. He was just like he was a busted left fielder, right?
Correct.
We had him, and then he went to Milwaukee. So, like, if you could get him, and if you don't, look, I want the Cubs to be in it. If the Cubs offer him $550, $600 million, and I still believe he's worth every penny.
Agreed.
We just said. And he says, I want to be on the West Coast. I want to be in Seattle, or I want to be with LA or Anaheim. Fine. But if they say we offered him $450, the Dodgers offered him $550, then I'll be pissed. That's when what you were saying about Kansas City, I'll be right behind you. I'll be riding shotgun with you. I'll say that's where you've got to be the Cubs. And you'll sell the patch on the Cubs uniform, and you'll be able to make hundreds of millions of dollars. And while you won't be able to pay for Shohei's contract in total, but you're going to sell more tickets, you're going to subscribe more people to Marquee, you're going to be able to get the corporate patch, you're going to be able to do so much. And plus, you're the Chicago freaking Cubs. You should be able to sign a player to that deal. But if you don't, if you do offer him that money and he chooses somewhere else,
it happens.
It happens. And then you go and then you say to Cody Bellinger, and if he keeps doing this, then you go to him and you say, here's $250 million or $220 or whatever. We love you. You loved it here. Come. And then you go sign another pitcher if there's one out there, or make a trade for a pitcher who's cost control or at least controlled. And that's where you cash in some of your prospects to fit your timeline. And that's when you step on the gas. And you.
So I talked to a current GM the other day who just happens to be a friend. He's not in the Chicago market. And I said, how much does Cody Bellinger get on the open market? He goes, he's not going to get as much as you think he's going to get. I said, what does that mean? He said, based on his injury history and 2 really, really bad years, he goes, I don't see someone giving him 10 years and $400 million. He said, I think if you went to him and said, here's 6 times 30, that might work. He said 6 times 35, somewhere in that range. He goes, I'd be leery going longer than 6 years. What do you think?
Well, I put the over under, and that's when I texted you that time. I think you said here's 5 for like 120 or 1.
No, I said 4 for 120. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
30 a year.
My over under I've set is 7 for 210. I put it at 30 million, 7 years, and there's numerous reasons why. Chris Bryant, the arrow was going down, the production going down. Chris Bryant was the same age going into free agency as Cody Bellinger is now. Chris Bryant had the same, I think I mentioned, has the same agent. He doesn't play defense the way Cody Bellinger plays defense. Cody Bellinger can play Gold Glove defense at two different positions. He can play center field. He can play first base. He and Chris Bryant, what did he get? 180, 185 with Colorado.
Right.
I think you're starting at 200 million plus. And the production, while he was down, I think now the arrow's pointing up coming off of this year, and he's showing you that he's healthy and he's dynamic once again. I'm willing to bet you, I'll set it at 210, and I bet you he doesn't get a penny less than 210.
I think you're probably right. In this market, with the amount of money in the game, $10 billion.
Yeah.
He's a great dude in the room. Like there is no wart other than, is he healthy? And he certainly looks like he is now.
Yes. Yeah. And 28, that's still a magical age. He's not 30. He's not 32. He is still in that prime age where he could run, he could defend. If he gets through the season unscathed, where he doesn't hurt a shoulder, he doesn't hurt a leg, I think he's getting 200 million plus, especially with.
Do you give, if Ohtani's agent called you, you're sitting in Jed's chair, and he said, okay, you can have him. You got to match the other offer I've got. He won't tell you who.
Yes.
It's 10 years and it's $600 million. You doing it?
Yes. Yes. Look, Cap, if you're going to 500, if you're going to 550, what the hell's the difference? I mean,
it's a lot of money.
I know it is, but Shohei Ohtani is so damn good, and he's such a difference maker. He brings in so much revenue. He can help you in so many different ways. We've never, ever, ever, ever seen anything like it. And I know this is apples and oranges. But what did Jaylen Brown just get from the Boston Celtics? Like
305.
Yeah, and then Daniel Jones is getting $40 million a year.
Yeah, 160.
And I know, again, it's apples and oranges. I'm comparing different sports. But if I'm giving Shohei Ohtani 50 to 60 million a year, and Daniel Jones is getting 40 million a year to play quarterback, or right. Easily, and Wrigley Field is putting $3 million people a year in that place. You're getting the patch. You're getting Marquise people subscribing. Dude, they could afford it.
Does he become, other than Michael? Michael is the GOAT of all GOATs. Does he become the second most exciting player on any Chicago team in sports history?
Justin Fields would like a word. If Justin Fields balls out, like we've been talking about.
He's at Ohtani's level?
If Justin Fields becomes like an MVP level player, he's the one guy we've never had, right?
We have not.
He's the ultimate uniter. We have never had the quarterback to unite us all that we love. Like I've always said this, Cap, whether you've loved Mitch and I didn't love Mitch. I liked Jay. You didn't like Jay. Not only never had a superstar quarterback, we've never even had a quarterback where we can all agree upon. Like McMahon, like Hampton at times couldn't even like McMahon. He divided the locker room at times. So, not only have we not had a quarterback who's a superstar, we haven't even had a quarterback that our city could agree on. So, if we finally get, even a step below Mahomes level greatness, if we get Josh Allen greatness, Joe Burrow greatness, this city will go crazy for it. And it's still baseball, and Ohtani's great. But if Justin Fields is the ultimate uniter, I still think that guy is the next, Derrick Rose level under Michael.
Okay, in our lifetime, you're what, 51?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 62. In our lifetimes, give me your Mount Rushmore of Chicago sports. It can be player, it could be coach, or whatever. Anybody in Chicago sports, not media.
Oh, no. I I'm still, it's going like you start with Michael and Walter. I think those two are obvious. And I put Scotty, like that's where I go Scotty. I am putting Scottie Pippen on.
Scottie Pippen on the Mount Rushmore?
I know, controversial. And
wow, I would never do that.
I know, but 6 championships, one of the all-time greatest basketball players. And then the fourth one is the toughest one. That's where I have the toughest. Is that Patrick Kane?
Is that Mike Ditka?
No.
Mike Ditka was a monster in this town.
I know, and he was the coach and a championship player. But I don't think so. I think it's.
What about Theo?
No, I don't think so. And
he reversed 108 years of insanity.
I know. I don't think it's Theo. I think it's Kane.
Okay, so you're going Scottie Pippen. There's no chance I'm putting him on there. No chance.
You would.
No chance.
You stopped,
Patrick Kane, maybe.
You stopped the Pippen trade. So you could have a little picture on the Mount Rushmore underneath them.
Like going like this, pointing.
Yeah.
I saved you. Yeah. I could not put Scotty there. I could put Michael. I could put Walter. I could put Dick Butkus there. Like he epitomized the Bears. Ditka. Theo would be in my, like when I had my meeting and we got our selection committee together, that would be tough after the first two. Patrick Kane's an interesting one. Bobby Hull was an interesting one. And then there's so much other stuff about him that I couldn't put in there. You know what I mean?
No, I know. That's where it's all fluid. And then it's all eras. Don't include Shea in your conversation. You hear way?
I listened to you guys when he called in today, and I was laughing.
Unbelievable. Like he's got to read a book or watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, he gives like Babe Ruth was not one of the greatest player. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea he hit more home runs than other teams did?
Yeah.
He has no respect for anyone that played before he was born watching TV.
Exactly. You don't want to be that guy.
Okay, non-sports. Give me your 4 favorite candies.
Oh, Jesus. 4 favorite candies. Because I'm not a big candy guy these days. Like I'm a big ice cream guy.
I love ice cream.
Like, you know what? And like that Oreo cookie pie when we were sitting, like I love that Chicago cut Oreo.
Oh, the mint Oreo ice cream pie is my favorite dessert there.
You talk about it all the time. There are a lot of things that we always say we disagree on and we swear at each other about. Like there are a lot of things that we agree on. And then I made the table in Vegas when they told us there was an Oreo cookie pie. I made the table get.
Was it the mint?
Not mint. This was just Oreo cookie pie. So I'll go. I'm gonna go Reese's peanut butter cup, which I don't believe you like. I think
I don't.
Candy. I gotta go with some sort of a gummy. My wife is in the other room. There's like a sour. Give me a sour type of gummy.
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, something like that. I still love a Twix. That
Twix we agree on. That's a good one.
Yeah, Twix is good. The caramel and the cookie and the chocolate and everything.
Yeah, I'm a whatchamacallit guy.
I know, that's old school.
Old school.
You know what's a real old school candy that I used to love? I don't think it's top 4. Is I used to put the Charleston Chew in the freezer.
Same here. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Now we're going back to the 70s of Skokie.
In Skokie, Illinois. No question. Okay. Give me I'll go back to sports. Give me your Cubs Mount Rushmore.
See, now this is very subjective. This is a real good one. Because like John Lester may be number 1 for me. Like
no shot.
Well, I mean, now, are we going favorite Cubs of all time? Or are we ranking best Cubs of all time? What do we do? Best Cubs of all time. Okay. See, this is going to be controversial for you too, because I'm going number 1, Sammy Sosa.
He was okay. I love Sammy. You know that. I flew to his home and tried to convince him to mend the ways with the Cubs, whatever he had to do. It didn't work. Whatever. I think Ricketts should bring him back. If you want a job, play by the owner's rules. He said, I don't want a job. I just want to be welcomed back. Then they should welcome him back. 100%. But he can't be number 1. Ernie has to be number 1.
How many home runs did he hit in Cubs uniform? 580?
Sammy?
Yeah.
I think 580.
It's like so good. So
he was.
Sammy, Ernie. Do I have to go Billy then? I mean, do I have to go all old school?
Well, like I was arguing with a friend of mine the other day, and he said, you cannot put multiple guys from the 69 team. I don't care if they're Hall of Famers. They didn't go to the playoffs.
I know, but what you had to win to go to the World Series then, right? There were no. It was a different level,
different era.
Like I'm telling you, I am not making a Mount Rushmore list without including John Lester. John Lester to me is the most important Cub of my lifetime, more than Rhino, more than Andre Dawson, because if he doesn't sign at that time, 15, when before it's complete, to say we're going, and this is an important time now, and then to win all those big playoff games, to come in Game 7, to win Game 5 when their backs are against the wall, when they're down 3-1. That effing guy, to win in LA when they're down. That dude, the NLCS MVP against the Dodgers with Javi. So I'm putting John Lester number 4 then, whether it's Billy 3 or Sandberg 3, and then John Lester 4.
Okay, I'm going to give you a take that then. That's why you don't trade Cody Bellinger, because the Boston Red Sox, his team, he said to me, if they don't trade me, I'm a creature of comfort. I was comfortable there. If they don't trade me to Oakland and I find out, wow, there's actually life outside here, I re-signed for whatever they offered me, whatever, and I would never have gone to Chicago. Once I went to Oakland, I went to my wife, you know what? I can do this. Let's try something different. That's why you don't trade Cody Bellinger.
It's fair. The only difference is Bellinger's only been here for a half year. John, the only thing he knew was Boston.
Right. He went through cancer treatment as a member of the Red Sox. That was the team that drafted him. He was on a champion there's a lot of history.
No hitter, winning, everything.
Okay, I don't always get this bite at the apple, so I'm going to, as Jerry Reinsdorf once said to you and to Carmen, it's your last bite at the apple. Isn't that what he said?
That we weren't getting another bite of the apple.
What did you do?
It was, we were interviewing him opening day of 2005. We were young hosts doing middays, and we're also, as you know, big passionate Bulls fans, and that's when the Bulls team was good under Scott Skiles in that 05, and no one knew the White Sox were going to be great in 05 either. So we have them opening day, but there was never, ever, ever any sort of, hey, we're only talking about opening day. If we were told that, we would never have agreed to that. Jerry, I guess, thought, or in his mind thought, that this was only going to be an opening day interview. So when we talked opening day, but in our mind as big Bulls fans, when we get the owner of the White Sox on, we know he's the owner of the Bulls. We're going to ask him a Bulls question or two.
Fair enough.
There was the topic at the time, Cap, was pretty big and polarizing. Eddie Curry's contract, and they wanted Eddie Curry to take a DNA test.
I remember that.
Because of his heart issue, to see if he was predisposed to a heart condition.
Correct.
So we asked him about it. And then it went into another Bulls question. And then he said that he came on under false pretenses.
Oh, boy.
And, we're young at the time, and I'm like, what the F is going on? And like I said, Jerry, and like you know me, I'm not gonna really back down. And I said, it's a shame that you believe that or you thought that, because that never was the case. And then we ultimately patched it up. And when they won the World Series, we were at the World Series party.
So he said to you, you're not going to get another bite at the apple.
Yeah, we played it recently. It is somewhere at the station if you find it. He said, you'll be certain of one thing, you'll never get another bite at this apple.
I got to hear it. I heard it way back then, but I was way down the dial, and
yeah,
I heard it, and I thought it was hilarious. All right, before I let you go, where does this Cubs thing go? Where do you think it goes this year, and how close do you think they are to winning?
Second question first. I think they're close, and I'm very excited over what they're doing, because I think they've got some good players on this team, and I do believe that they have built the farm system up. It's why I've defended Jed. I don't think he's perfect. I still don't know if he could ever be as good as Theo. I don't know if he's going to ever build it up as good as Theo did, because say what you want about Theo, he got some things wrong at the end and with free agents, but he built it up the right way. I don't know, but I'm excited about what the Cubs have big picture. This year, I'm not as bullish on them as you are. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm excited to watch meaningful baseball in August and September. I think they're going to fall short of the postseason, though. I don't love that Stroman's not going in the right direction. I can't count on their starting rotation right yet. And I wish Seiya and some other bats were just a little bit better. So I've got them falling short. I've got them with, like, my season prediction was 80 to 84.
Yeah,
so
I was right there. I had 82. I was right there with you.
So if they win 85 and fall a little short, I still don't think it's a terrible year.
Agreed with you. I'm not convinced they get there. Can they? Yes. I wish they would have added a little bit more to the back end of that bullpen, but I heard they were calling on Josh Hader and that the price was insane. And Jed went, no, you're not getting Pete Crow Armstrong and Cade Horton. Like, his top guys, no chance he was moving them. He just doesn't feel like now's the time to do that. So I completely agree. Last thing, if I owned the Chicago White Sox, I won't, I don't, I never will. I would call Theo Epstein up. And not only, and I've heard you say, offer him whatever, not only would I say, Theo, I want to have dinner, I'm going to give you a blank check, but I'm also going to tell him, put your group together, and whenever I'm gone, you get right of first refusal to buy the team. Sure. Because I don't think he's coming just to be a team president again. You tell him he's going to own the Chicago White Sox with his group and help him, Jerry, ride out on a parade. Now I think you got something.
Yeah, like it's a great point. Like, let him buy in on a minority share right now, and then give him the right of first refusal. So, or give him a percent as his pay or whatever. Like, and then he's got the opportunity to buy.
Correct.
And entice him, and the creativity that he could do to revitalize that Cubs, that White Sox franchise, not only now as like the team president, but all the opportunity that he may is sitting on the other side of town. I bet you he's got some good ideas about how he could revitalize that franchise.
No question about it. But I don't know if it'll ever happen. I doubt it will ever happen, but it would be cool. All right, Silvy, I thought we got along well. We had a good discussion here. We don't agree on everything, but that's okay.
I think that's when we talk about this stuff, we normally get along even though we don't agree.
Yeah, I don't want to fight with you. So I enjoy sparring with you. I enjoy debating with you. So let's do it again. Maybe I can come in when Waddle has one of his 9 weeks of vacation. I'll work the morning. I'll come back and I'll sit in with you.
Done. Whenever you want.
You let me know.
All right, Cap.
Man, appreciate you. Best to the family.
You too.
All right. That is a wrap for our Cubs Recap podcast. You can catch him every day, 2 to 6. He and Tommy Waddle on the Waddle and Silvy Show. You can follow him on Twitter at Waddle and Silvy and at Mark A. Silverman on Instagram. He is a really, really good follow, especially when he's had a couple glasses of wine. Silvy, have a great night. For Mark, I'm Cap. Take that.